not the Avengers. Are you ready to make a difference? If you're looking for a way to save the world, you won't find those answers. They don't exist. Thunderbolts are here to take it all.
The mission is impossible. We're sending them on a suicide mission, but it's our only hope.
We're not the Avengers. Are you ready to make a difference?
Yes.
Time to go to work. You don't want to do this. Super soldiers cannot be allowed to exist.
What does that word even mean, huh? That it holds so much power.
The Thunderbolts aren't just a team. We're a promise that humanity will always stand against the darkness.
So, everyone who has been listening to me for a little while now, none of you should, all of you should understand completely the symbolism in the words thunder and lightning that's used in the scripture. And I'm going to read to you Revelations. I'm going to start and get some revelations here tonight and break it down to the best of my ability. And I got some things I want to show you before we go to Revelations that you're going to, want to pay attention to. I've seen a lot of people breaking this movie down, Leave the World Behind. And I've seen all kinds of theories on what the symbolism means in that movie. And I haven't seen one person even come close to what it all means. And that's because they haven't been investigating the word. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to break it down. First, though, let me show you a few things that you're going to definitely need to see. And in that Thunderbolt trailer you seen, it said no more secrets, no more lies. You heard the woman say that there was talking about the power that's in that word, Thunderbolt. It's beyond, it's the key to everything, to life. Now, I don't know if you've been seeing in the news that there's this rare ring of fire around Beetlejuice that's supposed to happen, I think, this week, it says. And this article came out on the 10th, which was yesterday. Now, wait till you see what I got to show you. So, I've seen this for a few days, this article, and I was thinking, like, what significance is this? And what came to my mind was on iPet Goat 2, when it's showing the child with the black eye that's dead, that's wrapped in the cloth or whatever, and the woman's holding the flask, the beetle crawls across his face. And I've said on a few videos before, I said that I didn't know what that represented. Well, I found it. I found out what it represents. It's this right here, this annular ring of fire around Beetlejuice. Let me read a little bit of this to you, and we'll go from there. Each Monday, I pick out the Northern Hemisphere's celestial highlights, mid-northern latitudes for the week ahead, but check my main feed for more in-depth articles on stargazing, astronomy, eclipses, and more. The final week of the year with a new moon makes it one of the last with a sky dark enough for easy stargazing. However, a few extraordinary events are happening this week, from a rare eclipse of the bright red star Betelgeuse to the peak of the best meteor shower of the Geminids. I've also wondered if there was any hidden information in the movie Beetlejuice. A few times, even before I seen this event in the sky taking place. Now you should see the connection with the black and white that he's dressed in, them being at the house. If you read the plot, you're going to see exactly what's going on here. But after I read some of the things I'm going to read to you right now, that movie, all this stuff that I've been talking about is going to make perfect sense. Then we're going to go to Revelations and bring it all home. Hold that thought. Now, I'm going to try to be quick about this, so just try to have your ears turned on, pay attention to what we're going to read, and I'm going to show you here. It's massive. Right here it says that Orion's, I'll just start right there. High above the eastern horizon at around 8:17 p.m., according to Sky and Telescope, Orion's bright red supergiant star Betelgeuse will disappear from view behind an asteroid as seen by the naked eye. In an infrequent, once every few decades event, an asteroid called 319 Leona will pass in front of Betelgeuse and block its light for a few seconds as a shadow falls across Earth's surface. So I went and I looked up Leona. Leona is a mythical character and one that these kids use in a game, and her skills are Shield of Daybreak, Eclipse, Zenith Blade, and Solar Flare. The Zenith Blade. Leona is a holy warrior of the Solari who defends Mount Targon with her Zenith Blade and the Shield of Daybreak. Armored in gold and bearing a terrible burden of ancient knowledge, Leona brings enlightenment to some, death to others. The name Leona, which you probably guessed, it's derived from the word lion. Lion. You should already know. You should know the significance in that. So I went and I watched I Pet Goat 2, and maybe we'll go watch a few seconds of that so you can get a better idea. I don't want to do that to you, but you need to see it. So I'll play just a few seconds of that, and we'll come right back. Actually, I'm going to play all of this because we need to rewatch this in order for you to get the complete understanding of everything I'm about to show you. And let me just go ahead and tell you, spoiler alert, the things I'm about to show you is going to blow your mind wide open. Watch and see.
Fool me once, fool me once, fool me once. Shame on, shame on, shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. Fool me, can't get fooled again, 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 can't get fooled
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. I'm not going to play anymore because we've seen enough of that, and I don't want to. I want you guys to stay attentive and listen to the things I'm about to read to you. And it's going to be things that you've never seen before, and it's going to open so many doors up for you to the truth. That guy right there, his name, the character's name, they named him Juan Pepito. Juan Pepito. And that was the picture we were just looking at. So let's go back there real quick to my pics, to Juan Pepito. Okay? And this is just, I don't know what this is. This is some kind of rap song in Spanish or something. But notice the black and white in the picture. And from there, from my search of Juan Pepito, I found so much stuff that you're never gonna believe what I got to show you. But apparently this was a cartoon or something that was made back in the day of these two characters. One's name was Juan and one's name was Pepito. Notice the blue and white face on the lady right here, which is nothing, just more clues, really. But those cartoons were made by this guy right here named Quetzalcoatl 88. Quetzalcoatl 88. That's like his handle. Yeah, see, it's his handle. And in my search through some of his stuff, I was led to Quetzalcoatl, you know, the mythical, whatever, Aztec god, fiery, feathered serpent, right? And I came across this lady, Our Lady of Guadalupe. Right here it says in the attributes, a pregnant woman, eyes downcast, hands clasped in prayer, clothed in a pink tunic, robe covered by a whatever mantle with a black sash emblazoned with 8-point stars, eclipsing a blazing sun while standing atop a darkened crescent moon, cherubic angel carrying her train. Tomorrow, evidently, is the feast of that lady. Tomorrow on the 12th. So you can see I went to the Wikipedia of that lady right there, and I ran into this guy named Juan Diego, which I'm pretty sure that it's related to that guy on iPet Goat too. Notice the black and white that he's in, and notice the IHS at the top. And they're all to do with this Quetzalcoatl guy. He's the god of life, light, and wisdom, lord of the day and the winds, ruler of the west. And right here, another name he has is Precious Twin. Precious Twin. And he's related to the morning star, and he's known as the feathered serpent. Over the east presides the red, whatever that guy's name is, the god of gold, farming and springtime, and over the north presides the black, whatever that guy's name is, known by another name, that guy, the god of judgment, night, deceit, and sorcery, and the earth. Quetzalcoatl was often considered the god of the morning star and his twin brother, the evening star. Okay, now this guy here at the top, that Tezcatlipoca, I can't even try to pronounce that. He's often translated from that thing as smoking mirror. It alludes to his connection to obsidian, the material from which mirrors are made. And he's associated with divination. Remember, it said that in the word, it says that Nebuchadnezzar, the sovereign of Babylon, he placed the parting of the two ways in the gate to the house. He practiced divination in front of the gate. Now, from reading some of these Wikipedia pages about this guy, about the guy with the mirror, I ran into this game called Broken Sword, the Smoking Mirror. Now check this out. This is the plot of this game. 6 months after the events of the Shadow of the Templars, George Staubert returns to Paris after attending to his father's funeral and reunites with his friend Nicole Collard. George learns that Nicole had recently begun researching a new story when she found herself receiving a mysterious Mayan stone from a contact. Seeking answers, she invites George to join her for a meeting with an archaeologist named Professor Obier to learn more about it. Upon arriving at Obier's home, the pair are ambushed by Central Americans. Nicole is kidnapped while George is knocked out and trapped in a burning room. Escaping his predicament, George contacts Andre, who arranged the meeting, for assistance, and soon learns that Nicole was taken to the warehouse of Condor Transglobal in Marsalis. Upon rescuing her, George learns from Nicole that the company is headed by a man named Karzak, the head of a drug smuggling ring she was investigating, and that he is seeking the stone for unknown reasons, with Obiar working for him. The pair find themselves traveling to Coromante City, where Obiar has been for the past several months, and soon learn that the region's leader, President Grisanto, and her son I can't say that name either, Raul, are in league with Karzak. Discovering they are conducting a secret excavation deep in the jungle, the pair proceed towards it by river boat, but an attack helicopter strands the pair and leaves Nicole being poisoned by a snake. Aided by a Christian missionary, George visits the shaman of a local village for a cure, and in the process learns about the stone in their possession. The shaman reveals the stone to be one of 3 created by Mayan shamans centuries ago in order to fully entrap the god whatever inside a mirror before he could lay waste to the world. Trapped inside a mirror before he could lay waste to the world. The shaman reveals the god will be freed soon during a solar eclipse, marking the end of the 5th age in the Mayan calendar. Now, this is like part 2 of that game called Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars, also known as Circle of Blood. Now, if you can stay tuned and listen to the things I'm about to show you, what you're going to see, it's going to open your eyes to so many mysteries that you more than likely have considered in the past. And it's going to reveal the truth about the most important ones that regard your life and whether or not you will live or not. Notice the cover for this game. The blue and white, the white and black. And notice the mark on that guy's forehead right there. You see that? Notice the release date. It's on October 14th, the day of that annular eclipse that we had not too long ago. And notice the different games. The one we just read was the Smoking Mirror. There's another one called the Sleeping Dragon, the Angel of Death, the Serpent's Curse, the Shadow of the Templars. This is the plot for the, which one was it here again? The Shadow of the Templars. While on holiday in Paris, American tourist George Staubert witnesses an assassin dressed as a clown steal an old man's briefcase from inside a cafe and kill him with a bomb. George then meets and teams up with photojournalist Nicole Collard. She was supposed to meet the old man, Plantard, and is investigating a string of assassinations involving the same person in different costumes. George tracks the assassin to a hotel within the city thanks to clues they left behind near the cafe, and recovers an ancient manuscript from the hotel safe that the assassin, known as Khan, had taken from the old man. George smuggles the document around a pair of thugs that are after it as well. George and Nicole discover it to be related to the Knights Templar and housing clues relating to places across Europe and the Middle East. Discovering a tripod mentioned in the manuscript being housed in a local museum, George visits the site from where it came from at Lochmarn, Ireland. He learns that the archaeologist who found it, Pegram, had disappeared, leaving a package in the care of his assistant. The assistant is abducted by Khan outside a local pub, dropping the package. George tracks it down. It contains a gem mentioned in the manuscript at the excavation site. He locates a mural pointing to the Montfaucon in Paris. In Paris, George investigates a hospitalized man named Marquette who wanted the gem. Where was I? Who wanted the gem and learns the tripod is to be stolen. Moments before Marquette is murdered, George and Nicole thwart the theft and hold on to the tripod. George finds a hidden chamber beneath Montfaucon within the city's sewers. Now, and I just read all what we just read just here within the hour. And when I seen that, it was talking about the sewers underneath of Paris. It reminded me of a trailer I watched last night, As Above, So Below, looking for clues. And I seen something in this trailer, and it's something that I've shown you before, and they show it in a video called I Pet Goat 4 or 5, I believe. Check this out. Now, reading what I just read, it reminded me of this trailer that I went and looked at last night looking for clues from the movie As Above, So Below. And I seen something in this, a clue, big clue, that I've talked about before. I've showed it, and it's in another movie or video that I've talked about before. Check this out, and I'll pause it, try to pause it at that spot and show you what I'm talking about.
My name is Scarlett Marlowe, and I'm a student in urban archaeology. 370 feet beneath this point is a hidden chamber that might contain a critical missing piece of our history.
How are we supposed to get down there?
The catacombs. There are 200 miles of tunnels right underneath our feet.
They're holding the remains of 6 million corpses.
Stop. This is the Empire of the Dead.
These are human bones. We go through here?
Let's do it. Keep slow and steady, yeah?
I think I'm stuck.
Just breathe with me, please. It's okay.
What was that?
Is everyone okay?
I think I am. What the hell do we do now, huh?
We can't go back. We should just keep moving. Tell me we didn't just go in a circle.
It's exactly the same.
No, everything's up.
Boom. There you go. That star right there, it's the 6-pointed star. You can only see part of it, but one side's white, one side's black, and there's two men, one on the top and one on the bottom. That's in I Pet Goat 4, in a checkered floor, white and black checkered floored room. Now, I should tell you that last night, I should have got on here and showed you more and read from the word more to y'all. And right now I'm having a hard time just thinking about how any one of you are going to interpret this vital information. And you just seen in that trailer, it said that the world's darkest secret, and this is, wait till you see what I got to show you. But last night I didn't make a video, and I had a dream. When I went to sleep, I had a dream that I was at like this big, like massive water park, and I was in this river like thing, and I was swimming up and down in this river with people. And at one point I got out with a friend of mine, and his friend was Benjamin Netanyahu. And I didn't realize that was him in my dream. I didn't like think about it. I didn't like say, oh, that's Benjamin Netanyahu, but that's who it was. And he was a straight jerk. And he really wanted to kill me, but but my friend was there, and he was like, if my friend's presence is what kept him from ending me. And we were wandering around this water park, and Netanyahu was looking for bullets because he wanted to kill these big these lion-like cats that were in these trees along the river. And towards the end of the dream, I got away from them two, and I was no longer swimming in the river. I was flying above it in the sky. And I looked down, and I saw a little girl, like 3 or 4 year old girl, swimming in the water. And it was, I realized she was my daughter, but she was a little girl. And I went down, swam down, and got in the water with her, and she didn't really recognize me. And me and her got out of the water and went up to this picnic area, to a picnic table where my first wife was there. And I sat down, and my daughter was like, she was happy to see me, but you could tell she was kind of upset because I had left her to go with Benjamin Netanyahu and my friend. And at the end of that dream, my first wife, whose name is Crystal, slid down. She was sitting a little ways down from me on the bench, and towards the end of my dream, she slid down and sat beside me. And my daughter came up and embraced me, and we all embraced each other, and there was a few of my like family and friends around. I didn't recognize them, but I knew that was like my family. And we were laughing, and I woke up. And it was early in the morning, I had to use the bathroom, and I got up and went to the bathroom. I went back and laid down in bed and went and fell back asleep, and I had just like a short dream. And then I woke up again for the day. And in that dream, I was standing in front of a school, and my second wife came out of this door of this brick school building, and she walked up to me, and she had like an evil look on her face. She said, "Let me see your teeth." And I woke up. Now, in that movie, Leave the World Behind, the guy, Archie, his teeth falls out. And that's symbolic, letting you know, like the one who makes the arches, the enemy, his teeth are going to be loosened from you if you can open your ears, turn your ears on, and hear the information that I'm attempting to convey to you. My second wife, don't laugh, because people give me shit about this all the time. Her name's Crystal too. And they're the opposite, they're polar opposite from one another. And I've said this before. I've told you guys about this before. My first wife, Crystal 1, she's like a preppy, and she's from money, and she's uppity. Her nose is in the clouds, and she looks down her nose at everyone, her and her whole family. Crystal 2 is the opposite of that. And I'm just realizing why it is that my life has went the way it has. And you're going to see that too. I'm going to show you. But I had that dream. I realized for the first few hours I couldn't make no sense of it for the first few hours of the day. But now, after reading some word and after thinking about it all day, I've been able to make perfect sense of it all. I should have made at least put effort out last night to bring to y'all this information. And let me tell you why that is. What's going on in the world right now is lots of people, almost all people, are being destroyed right now, and they're on their way out. My family, my loved ones are being destroyed, and they don't see it. And last night I was looking through some stuff, and I really, being selfish, I just wanted to go just chill out and maybe watch Monday Night Football or something and just relax. How can I relax and go watch football when my family is being destroyed? In the Word, and the reason, the last dream, the evil wife wanted me to show her my teeth in front of a school. You should understand the symbolism in that. In the Word, the Most High tells us lots of times, he says, remember the wife of your youth. And what he's talking about is Jerusalem. That Zion, our set apart dwelling place, is our wife. That's the bride. And he tells us the wife of our youth for a reason. Don't forget, he's not incompetent. He knows exactly. Every word is always all necessary. And you best understand every jot and every tittle. Why would he say the wife of your youth if he's talking about Jerusalem? That obviously, that is a key clue in order intended for you to understand that there's two wives. Two of them. It's the same reason that star was on that movie. It's in that one I Pet Goat 2. It's black and white. That's why all these movies are black and white. And what I show you here, it's going to seal the deal. It's going to be straight to the point. There'll be no guesswork. You're going to see exactly what's going on here. The secret, the darkest secret that the world is completely unaware of. And as far as I can see, I'm the only one that knows this. That wants other people to live. Now, the enemy and these sick sons of guns out here, that they know it, but they're using it to destroy you. And I'm going to show you that. So in these reading this game stuff that's about the Templars, and this is going to make sense of all that. You know, that you see these shows like on the History Channel about the Knights of the Templar and everything, how they're looking for the Holy Grail. It's going to make sense of all that if you can just stay put. And really, I get thinking like, how am I going to say this and word this for you guys so you because I care about you and I love you, and I don't want you to run off and go watch football like I did last night, because you got loved ones too. Your own life is at risk, and other people's lives are at risk. But I shouldn't even worry about that, because there's nowhere else you're going to get this information from right now. And I guarantee you, go somewhere and find somewhere that's going to give you this information. So really, I just need to relax and tell you how it is, regardless of how it makes you feel, because the information I have to give to you, it's going to prove to you what you're doing, and that you're being fooled into death. And you just need to hear this information out and understand what's been happening here on this earth. So later on down here in this plot, it says he uncovers it in a hidden cave, a glass lens that the Neo-Templar sought, an idol of the being called Baphomet. And Baphomet, he holds one finger up and one finger down, right? As above, so below. And he's a male and a female. It's the combining. It's that star that you just saw on the wall. That's what that is. Back at Nicole's, George learns from her that a friend, Andre, uncovered his next destination, a villa in Spain owned by the whatever family. With permission from its sole surviving member, George examines the grounds and the family mausoleum and uncovers the family's chalice hidden centuries ago. If you've ever wondered what that Holy Grail is, what goes in the Holy Grail? It's a glass, right? And it can hold water, which is truth, the set apart truth, or the blood, or the wine, the set apart wine that will save your life. It's not anything else. All these theories of it being like a woman and all this stuff, it's not a glass. It's the truth that they've hidden from you. The whole world has nations and princes, kings, and the enemy has taken part in covering this truth up to hide it from you. Like you hear about the Knights Templar supposedly finding the Ark of the Covenant and all that. Well, what they did is they've hid everything from you, and you're going to see. Using the chalice to find another clue depicting a church with a square tower, George investigates the grounds in Spain further and finds a hidden well based on biblical references taken from the tomb. Within, he discovers a mural depicting a river running across a chessboard. Down here it says the pair, right here, so you see where I'm reading. The pair arrives to the church where they discover the Neo-Templars seek to acquire the power of Baphomet and reforge his sword, the titular broken sword. The broken sword. The enemy has broken the sword, the word, in order to fool you. This one here is the last, that one there we were reading, I guess, was the sleeping dragon maybe. And this one is, I guess it doesn't matter which one it is. You're going to see all of them. We'll go back through and look at the titles. I just showed you the titles to them all. But inside her apartment, I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just reading the key parts to this here to you. So I'm starting right here where it says, inside her apartment, he finds a photo of Anna Marie, who, dressed as a nun, is standing in front of a Vatican wall. Another clue mentions a place near the Vatican, and he also discovers an airline ticket to Phoenix, Arizona. Now, if you've ever wondered, like myself, why the nuns and the priests dress in black and white, now you know. That's why the priest is dressed in all black with that little white piece by his neck. The white represents the light, righteousness. They got that, all they got the little bit. That's what the enemy does, right? He tells you a little bit of truth mixed with a whole bunch of bullshit. And the black that they're dressed in, that represents the darkness, the night. Nico leaves to Phoenix to check things out. George gains access to the Black Hat Club, where he meets Dwayne, who he has met before in previous installments. I guess on down here is where I want to... No, must be the next page. Right here. Back in Rome, Nico informs George that the monatomic gold is being used and the monatomic gold was in Phoenix, I guess. Nico explores an old facility in Phoenix, and that's where he finds the gold. And Nico explains to him that the gold is being used to build a weapon called the Ark. The Ark. Right here. The Ark's purpose, right here. The Ark's purpose is to use the monatomic gold to destroy the unbelievers. Now, in those games, it mentions the Ouroboros. And the Ouroboros is this symbol of a snake eating its own tail. If you've seen that and you've talked about that, or you've wondered what that meant, you're gonna see what that means right here. It says that it's used in magical tradition. It was adopted as a symbol in Gnosticism and Hermeticism, and most notably alchemy. And it's often interpreted as a symbol for eternal cyclical renewal or a cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The snake's skin sloughing symbolizes the transmigration of souls. And Carl Jung, this guy here, wrote, and he saw the Ouroboros as an archetype and the basic Mandela of alchemy. If you've ever wondered what the Mandela effect means, you're going to see why they use that, why they even mention that. The Mandela effect. The Jungian psychologist Eric Newman writes of it as a representation of the pre-ego dawn state, depicting the I can't say that word either, infancy experience of both humankind and the individual child. If you notice, there's the hexagon right there. You see it? And you can take, that's a cube, or it's the star. Boom. Boom. See the star? Or it's the cube. And that's where, like you see them guys that walk around Mecca at the cube, it all comes from the same thing. Boom, boom, boom. It's a cube. I can't draw very good, so don't hold that against me. Okay, here's a list of some fictional works, books, and movies, shows, or whatever that show the Ouroboros. And one's called The Wheel of Time. Here's this one called All You Zombies. Notice this up here, the Kobe, Japan-based Dragon Gate. But down here at the bottom, there's this science fiction short story called All You Zombies. And they remade it in 2014 as this movie, I guess, Predestination. And they used it in The X-Files, Never Again, a bunch of different stuff, right? So, like, look at this one here. Look at the top one. A Court of Thorns and Roses, right? There is a mirror named the Ouroboros, also known as the Mirror of Beginnings and Endings, of Thorns and Roses. The reason that little girl in the movie Leave the World Behind, her name is Rose, because just like in I, Pet, Goat 2, you see the rose on the wall, you see the deer on the wall. The rose represents the true set-apart place. The thorns represent what's been put around it to hide it. That's why the Messiah had the crown of thorns placed on his head. Because that was letting us know what was going to happen. And the reason that we can see it now, or that I'm seeing it, is because there was no image of the beast back then. All this stuff that's happened now has allowed us to see these clues. And you can see all the names of these, like the Dragon Veil, Xenoblade. It's all about what I've been talking about. Down here, it even mentions the Loki, season 2 premiere of Loki. There's the infinity symbol. It's the 8. That's why in Back to the Future, they go 88 miles an hour. That's why you see the 88. That's why that guy a little bit ago, his name was Quasimodo 88. Now, here is a couple pieces of that book. What was it called? All You Zombies, right? And you should, for those of you who've been around here for a while, you should know I've been talking about the zombie apocalypse that's going on right now. The world is zombies. They're all lulled to sleep. That's what this is from. This is an excerpt from that. Notice down here at the bottom of this top paragraph, it says, I know where I came from, but where did all you zombies come from? And this story, it says it's a classic example of a time paradox. The Rocky Mountains. But there's one part here that I want you to see. I believe I saved it, maybe. I thought I saved it. Maybe I didn't. There's one part in this story right here where it says the journey is returning. I don't know why I didn't save that picture, but right here is from that movie or the book, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Down here at the bottom of this first paragraph right here, it says that she previously learned about the dangerous fact that the world is false. In every one of these stories, the main character is a investigator. And this story is about her. Right here, I'll just read it. Jules Larson has lost her family, her job, and her boyfriend, and is now living with her best friend Chloe in New York City. With no job prospects, Jules answers a job posting for an apartment sitter in an exclusive building called the Bartholomew. Property manager and longtime resident Leslie Evelyn explains that the former occupant has died, but they cannot be let an apartment sit empty due to fear of burglars. She explains that Jules will live in the apartment for 3 months, for which she will be paid $12,000. $12,000, like the 12 tribes. But she was not allowed to bring outsiders into the building. So I guess this series was called Lock Every Door, right? And the girl ends up finding out that there's these people are stealing organs like kidneys and livers and hearts from people. But it was made by Paramount Television, Sugar 23, and Anonymous Content. And I clicked on that anonymous content and I found this book called The Dispossessed. And that is where that phrase, the true journey is returning, right there. You see that? True journey is returning. And this book is about a utopia. In addition to Shivik's journey to answer questions about his society's true level of freedom, the meaning of his theories themselves weave their way into the plot. They not only describe abstract physical concepts, but they also reflect ups and downs of the characters' lives and the transformation of the Anaresti society. An oft-quoted saying in the book is, "True journey is return." And this book right here, The Dispossessed, is a 1974 anarchist utopian science fiction novel by that guy right there. And the chapters alternate between the two planets, and it's science fiction about these two planets, and between the present and the past. The even number chapters, which are set on Anaris chronologically, take place first and are followed by the odd number chapters. The physics of the book, principles of whatever that is, describes time as having a much deeper, more complex structure than it is understood. It incorporates not only mathematics and physics, but also philosophy and ethics. Shevik finds his work blocked by a jealous superior, Sable, who controls the publication of the Anaresti manuscripts, as his theories conflict with the prevailing political philosophy. Shevik believes that his ideas are discordant with Anaresti society. Throughout his time in Ebony, which must be the other planet, he runs into old acquaintances from his adolescence and his mother, Rulog. One of his old female acquaintances, Takver, becomes involved with Shevik, and the two start a relationship and have their first child together. Now, notice some of the things that this book or whatever it is or series talks about. Eventually, at a dinner party, a drunken Shevik publicly announces his peers on Alo, scolding them for their materialistic lives and taking their splendor for granted, before leading to a disastrous whatever. But this, like the moral of this story is how everyone in, besides the main character, is materialistic, and they don't care about anything. They don't take enough time to actually look at what's really going on. And that's the moral of all those stories. If you read all them stories that I just pointed out to you, they're all the same thing. Like the one, All You Are Zombies or whatever. It's the same thing. But think about the company that makes all these movies. It's called Paramount, right? Paramount. Think about that. Para is a paradox or parallel universes. Paramount. And I'm going to show you the picture here in just a second. But I guess like this book or whatever, it's utopianism. And I was seeing this lady the other day talking about how there's all kinds of movies and stories that are dystopian, that are about these horrible dystopian like places where like 1984 where you're being watched and all this horrible stuff, but there's never really any utopian films, right? And that's true. There's a reason they don't want to make you think about a utopia. Taoism, down here, Taoism, which rejects dualisms and divisions in favor of yin and yang balance, brings attention to the balance between not only the two planets, but between male and female inhabitants. Mark Tanuk emphasizes that the wall is the dominant metaphor for social constraints in the dispossessed. While on Eurus, Shevik hits the wall of charm, courtesy, indifference. He later notes that he let a wall be built around him that kept him from seeing the poor people on Eurus. And right here, you are in jail, each alone, solitary, with a heap of what he owns. You live in prison, die in prison. It is all I can see in your eyes, the wall, the wall. So it's like the moral of the story is that these people, they build their own prison and they don't realize that they're in it. And it's built from things like this. Paramount, look at that. I never thought about it before until today. The reason it's called Paramount, it's the reason all these movies, all the movies you see coming out, they're all about the same thing. All them superhero movies, the Captain America, all that stuff. It's about an alternate reality that you're living in. A paradox is a logically self-contradictory statement or a statement that runs contrary to one's expectation. It is a statement that, despite apparently valid reasoning from true premises, leads to a seemingly self-contradictory or a logically unacceptable conclusion. A paradox usually involves contradictory yet interrelated elements that exist simultaneously and persist over time. The result in persistent contradiction between interdependent elements leading to a lasting unity of opposites. There's a reason why that's called Paramount. There's a reason why that floor is black and white checkered, and Beetlejuice is black and white. The new Venom movie is between a black Venom and a white Venom. It's all those stories can be, in those stories can be found the truth about what it is, what the enemy has done, and what it is you must do. Okay, now, here in chapter 11 of Revelations, verse 19, it says, "And the dwelling place of the Most High was opened in the heaven, in the truth. And the ark of his covenant was seen in his dwelling place. And there came to be lightnings and voices and thunders and an earthquake and great hail." Now, none of that is literal. There is no earthquake. The earthquake is the truth, the lies being shaken. The hail comes from the throne. In Ezekiel, he saw a man's hand underneath of the cherubim trying to catch the hot coals of fire coming from the slaughter place. And a great, chapter 12, and a great sign was seen in the heaven, a woman clad with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. And being pregnant, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. And another sign was seen in the heaven, and see, a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns on his head. And his tail draws a third of the stars of the heaven and throws them to the earth. His tail. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she bore a male child who was to shepherd all nations with a rod of iron. A rod of iron. And the rod is the measuring rod. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared by the Most High to be nourished there 1,260 days. Now, in other places, I think it's in Jeremiah, he says, as the years of a hired man. Or he says, 1 year you'll hear a report, then the next year you'll hear a report, then sudden destruction. If you go back in my videos and you find where I first started talking about measuring the set apart place and all this stuff, it was in 2020, in the spring of 2020, when you know what happened. If you add from there to 21, that's 1, to 22, that's 2, to 23, that's 3. 1,260 days is 3.5 years. We're right around that precipice. The 42 months will be ended in 24, for sure. And the great dragon was thrown out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who leads all the world astray. He was thrown to the earth, and his messengers was thrown out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in the heaven, "Now have come the deliverance and the power and the reign of our Most High and the authority of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brothers who accused them before the Most High day and night has been thrown down. And they overcame him because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of their witnesses, and they did not love their lives until death." Now, people People use that term, washed in the blood, a lot, but they don't think about what it means. Washed in the blood, the life of every creature is in his blood. The Messiah, the Word, he didn't relinquish speaking the truth until his death. He gave up everything. He didn't want the coin. He said, give to Caesar what's Caesar's. He told the truth regardless of the consequences. He went to Jerusalem and had the Passover meal, and he gave up his life for it, to do what the Most High wanted him to do. That's what everyone has to do. Now, right here in chapter 15, verse 2, it says, and I saw like a sea of glass mixed with fire, and those overcoming the beast and his image and his mark and the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, holding harps of the Most High. Only those who overcome the beast and his image, and the image is Isis Ra'el, the fake set apart land and people. How'd they overcome? They sang the song of Moses. They went to the land, and the song of the Lamb, the same thing. You have to deny yourself. Give your life over to coming to the throne. Great and marvelous are your works, Yahuwah El Shaddai, the mighty one of the mountaintops. Righteous and true are your ways. And after this I looked and saw the dwelling place of the tent of witness in the heaven was opened. And out of the dwelling place came the 7 messengers, having the 7 plagues, dressed in clean bright linen, and having their chests girded with golden bands. And one of the 4 living creatures gave to the 7 messengers 7 golden bowls filled with the wrath of the Most High, who lives forever and ever. And the dwelling place was filled with the smoke from the esteem of the Most High and from his power, and no one was able to enter the dwelling place until the 7 plagues of the 7 messengers were ended. You couldn't enter into the dwelling place because we didn't know the truth that came from the prophets, because we wouldn't understand it until the latter days. And if you look at these, what each messenger does, it's a prophet that he gives you. In the prophet is the truth to let you know what the mark of the beast is. The mark of the beast, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now what it is. Anything that came from the beast in the beginning, in the beginning of this book, the Messiah said that he holds. Let's just go back and read that real quick. I think it's in chapter 4, maybe. And this is it right here. Most people, they believe that they're alive, but they're not. Chapter 3, and to the messenger of the assembly in Sardis write, he who has the 7 spirits of the Most High and the 7 stars says this, I know your works, that you have a name, that you are alive, but you are dead. Wake up and strengthen what remains and is about to die, for I have not found your works complete before the Most High. What's the works? Singing the song of Moses and of the Lamb. See, I am giving up those of the congregation of Satan who say they are Yahudim and are not but lie. See, I am making them come and worship before your feet and to know that I have loved you. That's a reason it says, I shall make him a supporting post in the dwelling place of the Most High, the renewed Jerusalem. I know your works and pressure and poverty, yet you are rich, and the blasphemy of those who say they are Yahudim and are not, but are a congregation of Satan. I know your works and where you dwell, where the throne of Satan is. Not that you live there, you dwell there. You dwell in what it has taught, and you hold fast to my name, and did not deny the belief in me, even in the days in which Antipas was my trustworthy witness, who was killed near you where Satan dwells. But I hold a few matters against you, because you have those there who adhere to the teaching of Balaam, who taught Balak to put a stumbling block before the children of Yasharal, to eat food offered to idols and to commit whoring. So you also have those who adhere to the teaching of the Nicolaitans, which also I hate, which teaching I hate. If the belief is in returning, the true journey is returning to the set apart land. If you don't know the truth about the set apart land, you have the mark of the beast on you. If you think you're going to get raptured, mark of the beast. If it's saved by grace, all you got to do is accept Jesus into your heart and Savior. It's the mark of the beast. That's what it is. If you can't give up your life, if you can't walk away from everything to come to your throne, to the set apart land, you have the mark of the beast on you. That's what it is. The reason that book, the book Open All Doors or Lock All Doors or whatever, she finds out that there were people stealing people's livers and kidneys and hearts. The reason he says, I try your kidneys, I try your heart, because your heart should be to come home, to follow, to sing the song of the Lamb, to come home. Your kidneys, it's not because you drank alcohol or done drugs or whatever. It's what food are you eating? The food offered to idols. Rapture is food offered to idols. All that bull crap is food offered to idols. Whoring. Searching the kidneys and hearts. And I shall give to each one of you according to your works. According to your works. And he shall shepherd them with a rod of iron, as the potter's vessels shall be broken to pieces, as I also have received from my Father. And I shall give him the morning star. The potter's vessels. In Jeremiah, I think it is, he says you hewn out for yourself your own cistern, and you put water in cracked jugs and vessels. The truth is that you have to come home. That's what all this is. Otherwise, this is all a lie. And the Messiah is a liar. The Most High is a liar. And he's not. You have to, right here, it says, wake up, strengthen what remains and is about to die, for I have not found your works complete before the Most High. Your works being complete is you coming home. You can't celebrate Passover anywhere else except for in Jerusalem. You can't do it. Right here. The beast that you saw was and is not and is about to come up out of the pit of the deep and goes to destruction. And those dwelling on the earth, anywhere other than your dwelling place, whose names are not written in the book of life of the foundation of the world, shall marvel when they see the beast that was and is not and yet is. Here is the mind having wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. The 7 mighty mountains is in the true Jerusalem. Here is the mind having wisdom. They shall fight with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Master of masters, Sovereign of sovereigns, and those with him are called and chosen and trustworthy. The reason the Lamb overcomes them, because the Lamb is the Passover lamb to be eaten. You have to eat all of it in the dwelling place, with the blood on the doorpost, the door to come home, the door, the key of David, that the Messiah says he opens and no one shuts. Babylon, the city of Babylon is that place over there that's doing all the smashing that you see. That's Babel. That's, you see everyone, you see the songs being sung by the whore, you see people, you see things standing at a distance for fear of her torture. And I saw another messenger coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was lightened from his esteem of the Most High. Everything that says that Babel the Great has fallen, has become the dwelling place of demons, the dwelling place of demons, a haunt for every unclean spirit and haunt for every unclean and hated bird. Anything to do with that place, if you base your faith, if you bet the house on what that thing has taught you, you have the mark of the beast on you. It ain't got nothing to do with money. It does, but it ain't got nothing to do with you being able to go to a store to buy something, like a chip or something. It has nothing to do with that. Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues. Why? How would you receive of her plagues and share in her sins? Because you're just like Balaam did to Balak. He had them women come out and invite them over to Baal days and celebrate Baal holidays with them. And the names, they served Baal. They were serving Baal, worshiping, following Baal. And that's why they were destroyed. The only way to come out of her is you have to come home. Because if you don't, you're in her. Because she has taught you that you don't have to come home. It's the paramount. It's the paradox. That's what all this stuff is. And all these signs that we're seeing are signs letting us know that we're close to the end. You don't have much time left. You might have a year. You might. But what are you going to do? You're going to tempt the Most High and say, well, if it's a year, I'll just wait for 6 months. Is that what you're going to do? Or should you do it now? Because if you say, well, I can wait till 6 months, you have the mark of the beast. There's no two ways about it. The sovereigns of the earth who committed whoring and lived riotously with her shall weep and mourn over her when they see the smoke of her burning. The sovereigns of the earth is the religions of the earth. And IPET goat 2. The bride drops the apple, which is her fruit. What would her fruit be? He said, judge them by their fruit. If an apple tree's fruit is an apple, and if our fruit is to look, that means look, our fruit, I've been looking for the clues and I'm sharing them with you. I'm producing that fruit right now. Your job is to eat that fruit and to produce the same fruit on your own. Her riches were laid waste. Everything that you think everything that you're holding on to and you're not coming to your throne for, it's not riches. It's poverty, and it's being laid waste. It's shame. And if anyone was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. The book of life is for those who live in the land of the living. They dwell at their home. If you don't even care about your home, you aren't in the book of life. You're delusional, and you've been disillusioned by the beast, the dragon, who gives authority to that beast. I mean, everything about them is Satan. It's their doctrine is the tree, from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Good and evil, as above so below, as good as it's evil. It's the same thing. That's where it came from. And her wife prepared herself, prepared as a bride, adorned for her husband. You got to come down the aisle as a bride, right? Dressed in white, you got to come home. That's what all that symbolizes. The one who overcomes shall inherit all this, and I shall be his most high, and he shall be my son. But as for the cowardly and untrustworthy and abominable and murderers, if you're believing anything that comes from that beast over there, you're abominable. You're doing what's abominable. Murderers, those who whore, that's whoring. That's why those pictures of Jesus, you see he's got one hand, two fingers up, two fingers down. It's as above, so below. It's a lie. Drug sorcerers, idolaters, and the false. Their part is in the lake which burns with fire and sulfur, which is the second death. If you would wake up to this, that's the first resurrection. You're being resurrected to life. Right now, you're asleep and you're being taken into the lake of fire. You're going to be destroyed. He carried me away into the spirit to a great and high mountain and showed me the great city, the set apart Jerusalem, descending out of the heaven from the Most High, not out of the sky, from the truth. The truth. Her light was like a precious stone, like a jasper stone. The jasper stone is from the tribe of Benjamin. The tribe of Benjamin, and that's where Aaron is from. Aaron is from. He had the rod that budded, and the vessels that was for the vessels in the tent of appointment. All this stuff, it's you can. Once you get the hang of these, once you realize that this isn't literal, and you go through and you start researching like an actual investigator, because your life and the lives of your family members, all those around you, depend on it. If you do that, you have a chance at life. Right now, anything else besides doing what the Lamb did, and that's coming to the set apart place, giving everything up of this world and coming to do this right now in this time, anything other than that is death. And they shall bring the esteem and the appreciation of the nations into it. And there shall by no means enter into whatever is unclean, neither anyone do an abomination and falsehood, but only those who are written in the Lamb's book of life. And the Spirit and the bride say, Come. And he who hears, let him say, Come. And he who thirsts, come. And he who desires it, take the water of life without pain. The verse of the day, Matthew 6:25. Because of this, I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you shall eat or drink, or about your body, what you shall put on. Is not life more than the food, and the body more than the clothing? All the words he said, the Messiah said, he said for a reason. When it was time, when he knowed the Most High wanted him, his Father, our Father, he knowed that he wanted him to teach the truth. But when it came time, he knew he had to go and eat the Pesach, the Passover in Jerusalem, and that he was going to have to give up his life. Did he do it or did he not? He did it, didn't he? That's the song of the Lamb. That's overcoming by the blood of the Lamb. Anything else is not overcoming. Anything else is death. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. Are you worried about your house or making your payments or keeping anything on this earth? But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart shall be also. The lamp of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye is good, all your body shall be enlightened. But if your eye is evil, all your body shall be darkened. Do you see your dwelling place as good and as desirable or not? Because if it ain't, it's evil. Your eye is evil. No one is able to serve two masters. You can't serve the beast and the Most High. If you ain't thinking about your dwelling place, you're serving the beast. Seek first the reign of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these shall be added to you. Enter into the narrow gate. What gate? The gate to where? To the city. Anywhere, all the people of the world, they're going down the broad and wide road that leads to destruction. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are savage wolves. Paradox. They're parallel. You think they're a sheep, but they're actually a ravenous wolf. You shall know them by their fruits. Is that the true place over there? No, it's not. What do they teach? Evil and murder, bloodshed, unrighteousness. That's why he says, everyone who says to me, Master, Master, shall enter into the reign. Not everyone of the heavens, but he who is doing the desire of my Father in the heavens. What's the desire of his Father in the heavens? To come home to Jerusalem. Keep the feast, that which is continual. Do what's right. The Messiah will say, I never knew you if you don't. If you don't do this, he's going to say, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who work lawlessness. It's lawlessness to do anything that place has taught you or that has blinded you into doing. And I say to you that many shall come from east and west and sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the reign of the heavens. But the sons of the reign shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Into outer darkness. You have to come home. Go read your word and you'll see it. It's everywhere. This truth is all through his word. He who has found his life shall lose it, and he that has lost his life for my sake shall find it. He who receives me, and he who receives me receives him who sent me. Who is he? He's the Lamb. He's the Word. He's the way and the life. Get on your face this day. Give all praise, all honor, all glory, and all esteem to Yahuwah, the Most High, our wonderful Creator, our righteousness. Get to the throne. You have to come back home. You have to want to go to your home. You have to give up the home you're living in, where you're dwelling, and all things about it. And focus on the kingdom, and all those things you're worried you'll lose will be added to you thousands, trillions fold.